Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm Darren McBreen. It is Friday, September 12th, 2014. And here's a quick look at what's coming up.
Tonight, a top German virologist predicts Ebola deaths in the millions. And experts say ISIS cannot be eradicated by airstrikes. That's next on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
I've had to file in federal court so you can see what Barack Obama really is. I am busting my...
Well, it sounds like the perfect script for a horror movie. A virus with no vaccine and no cure kills thousands of people. And despite containment efforts, the virus is spreading. Well, unfortunately, this scenario is all too real in West Africa right now, where doctors are saying that the Ebola outbreak is out of control. A top German virologist has caused shockwaves by asserting that it's too late to halt the spread of the Ebola virus. They're estimating that millions of people will die from Ebola in Sierra Leone and Liberia, and the effort must begin now to stop the virus from spreading to other countries. Jonas Schmidt-Chanisset of the Bernard Nock Institute of Tropical Medicine, he says that hope is all lost for the inhabitants of Sierra Leone and Liberia, and that the virus will burn itself out when it has infected the entire population and has killed 5 million people. He says the right time to get this epidemic under control in these countries has been missed. Now it is too late. Now, he's not alone. There is a growing number of concerned officials throughout the globe, and it's not just a West Africa problem or an Africa problem. It is a world problem, and the world needs to respond. As you know, here in the United States, the hospitals are quietly preparing for the Ebola virus. They are already setting up entire infection wards for what many believe is only a matter of time before it hits the U.S. A recent report published by MIT and the New England Complex Systems Institute deployed a host pathogen model. You're looking at it right now, and this predicts the spread of Ebola, and the results are nothing short of terrifying, illustrating here how likely it is that a virulent strain can spread out of control. The report says it only takes one infected individual making it through an airport checkpoint, and it's on. Now, we'd like to hope that the Ebola virus will burn itself out, but health officials are now concerned that the virus will outrun its own extinction, and that is reason for concern.
1 month ago, I called Paul Watson, and I got all my reporters in a room, and I said, here's a UN and here's a CDC report, and here are major medical journals saying Ebola was confirmed to be somewhat airborne 2 years ago in 2012, and it's clearly mutated. Here are the mainstream documents on that. And it is replicating and spreading at 10 times the previous worst outbreak 6 years ago. I said, I'm no medical doctor or virologist, but I'm reading what all the top ones say as an analyst. This is going to be a gigantic outbreak on top of what's already happened, and it's clearly somewhat airborne. It's gestating longer. And we were attacked, let me not exaggerate, a month ago. Let me not exaggerate, by tens of thousands of publications. AP attacked us, others did. That was in thousands of publications alone. You could type in Infowars.com Ebola and see the stuff from a month ago. Paul Watson's doing a video on it. He's doing a report on it. We're going to do a special report Sunday because it's not about defending Infowars. It's about understanding how propaganda works. We presented documents. We presented fact. We tried to warn people. And we said it may not end up, infecting the rest of the world, but it is going to ravage Africa. You know what the headline today is on Drudge from the New York Times? So now the New York Times said it. It's true. Just like the New York Times, 3 weeks after we proved with video and the city manager of Kingsville, of McAllen, and video where the Border Patrol told us to go, our ICE whistleblower, We went and showed the Border Patrol loading them on buses and giving them vouchers, the illegals. We broke that. And we were attacked. People said it wasn't true. And we took the mainline documentation and we put it in articles, and it went viral, pun intended. And then we got attacked. Just like they said 3 years ago we were lying, there were no domestic surveillance drones, even though we were covering local newspaper articles. Just like they said there were no death panels in Obamacare. Just like they said that we weren't funding Al-Qaeda in Syria, and now it's admitted. The truth is, my show is not radical. I get radically upset. I try to get people to wake up. I jump around naturally because I'm upset. That's not a manipulation that I get up here and get upset. But it works because people are in a coma. And it's time for folks out there to get out of their comfort zones and realize we're in danger. And here's the headline out of the New York Times: what we're afraid to say about Ebola. And then they talk to the virologist and the World Health Organization, and they say it's going airborne.
So the threat is real. And INFOWARS, along with a handful of other media outlets, well, we've been warning you about this since the Ebola outbreak was first identified. And the mainstream media, they have typically, in mainstream fashion, they have not taken this threat very seriously until now. And now look at us. Here we are with 2,000 plus people who are dead. God only knows how many people are infected. And I tell you what, if we don't get a handle on this soon, we might be reaching the point of no return. There is no cure for Ebola. Early detection and basic medical care can improve your chance for survival, but the most important thing is getting the virus under control and preventing it from spreading. Now, I'm not trying to scare you folks. I mean, this whole thing, it could burn out, and I pray to God that it does, but it's no secret that health officials are becoming more and more concerned that this could potentially be a global pandemic. And as we showed you in that clip from the Alex Jones Show this morning, we reported back in August 4th, 2014 to be exact, that the CDC was concerned about the Ebola virus going airborne. This was when the mainstream media was telling you that the Ebola is not transmitted through the air, but only through contact with bodily fluids, including sweat and blood. But we've got CDC advisories for airline flight crews and cargo personnel that contradict that statement, as they are urging airline staff to be careful and directing their cleaning personnel to not use compressed air, which might spread infectious material through the air. And don't forget that the Public Health Agency in Canada says airborne spread among humans is strongly suspected. So the worst strain of the Ebola virus in history has already killed 2,000 people. It has infected countless others, and it could very well be airborne. Meanwhile, President Barack Hussein Obama has signed an executive order mandating the detention of Americans who show signs of a respiratory illness. Hey, we're going to take a quick break right now. And speaking of Barack Obama, when we come back, we're going to find out if Obama could very well indeed be the Antichrist. INFOWARS Nightly News will return right after this. Stick around. Celebrate the spirit of freedom and liberty upon which our nation was founded at InfoWarsShop.com. Molon Lave is ancient Greek for come and take it. This popular design combines both classic Greek Spartan imagery with modern M16 assault rifles. Now available in women's tees and proudly made in the USA. Celebrate the spirit of 1776 with the George Washington brass belt buckle or this incredibly sharp-looking 1776 hat. Badass. And be sure to check out the new arrivals at InfoWars Life, where you can prepare your body to perform at peak levels with Survival Shield Nascent Iodine, Super Male Vitality, and Fluoride Shield. And wake up, America. Immune Support Blend is the healthy choice for the gourmet coffee lover. So get incredibly high-quality, freedom-based products and help fund the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive INFOWARS Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the info war at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Hey, I wanted to show you something. I thought this was pretty interesting. As you already know, earlier this week, President Barack Obama, during his presidential address, announced his war plans for fighting ISIS. The president said there will be airstrikes in Syria and Iraq to combat the terrorists. Most military experts say that the airstrikes won't accomplish anything, and they are already recommending troops on the ground, something Obama said will never happen. That remains to be seen. Larry Johnson, former CIA analyst and counterterrorism official at the State Department, told the Washington Times that it will take skilled ground forces to evict the combatants block by block. And that's because ISIS is already deep-rooted in Iraq and Syria, no thanks to the Obama administration for providing support and arming ISIS to begin with, something that is likely to continue. Obama announced in his presidential address his plans to arm so-called moderate terrorists who we all know have provided weapons to ISIS. They will continue to provide weapons to ISIS, which is like pouring gasoline on a raging inferno. And that, my friends, that's exactly what the globalists intend to do. They want to destabilize the region and then establish order out of chaos. Now, let's take a look at those pictures from Obama's presidential address earlier this week and tell me what you see. This was not photoshopped, by the way. These images have appeared on Fox News, Slate, Business Insider, and the National Review, and they are now going viral. And it is a chilling photo of what appears to be devil horns on Obama's head during his last presidential address. I'm not making this up. I noticed Mark Dice has already uploaded a video about this. These pictures were taken by press photographers from the press floor during Obama's speech about the Islamic State. And that's when he told the American people that the ISIS terrorists are not Islamic. So to me, it definitely looks like a demonic apparition. Anyone who thinks Obama is the Antichrist would certainly have their beliefs reinforced by looking at these pictures. And hey, remember the Bible series that was on the History Channel? A lot of people thought that the actor who played Satan looked a lot like Obama. I agree. I think he looked a hell of a lot like Obama. In fact, the Satan scene was later cut from the movie Son of God because of political pressure, as the actor who played Satan in the film, well, a lot of people, like I said, they said it resembles Obama. So now, I don't know what to make of these pictures from the presidential address. I mean, he's got horns coming out of the side and on top of his head. It almost looks deliberate, but hell, I don't know, maybe it's a psyop. Well, I tell you what, he definitely acts like the Antichrist, and now he looks like him too. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. The INFOWARS Nightly News will be right back. When we come back, we're going to play a special report filed yesterday on the 13th anniversary of 9/11 as INFOWARS reporter Leanne McAdoo, well, she got the opportunity to talk to a veteran of the New York City Fire Department and the NYPD about his incredible and firsthand experience about the lies surrounding Building 7. Leanne McAdoo from Ground Zero when we come back right after this.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my